Alright guys, welcome back to Jake's Chop Shop. On this episode, we put all of this into our HJ GDS replica, and I'm going to show you how. Let's get it. Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Jake's Chop Shop. On this episode, we're going to cover something that I get on every single one of these HQ to WB sedans, utes, wagons, everything. If you're doing rust on one of these, this is a must-watch video. So, obviously Brad's been chipping away on the rust on this HJ GDS replica we're building. Now, every one of these cars, without a doubt. Now, we do a lot of them. I do a fair few, probably about 10 a year, rust repair for customers and other shops. Every one of them needs a plenum, okay? And when we're talking about a plenum, we're talking about the top cowl panel and underneath in the plenum. So this car at a glance looked okay, all right? But under further inspection, one, you start to notice the filler work that's been done around here, looking a bit skeeved. Then you start to notice the rust under the window. Then you want to poke your head under the car, and they always rust in these corners at the bottom and in your top corners up here. And as you can see, this one has been very creatively, I might add, fixed previously with some pot rivets. So they've actually pot riveted a complete sheet all the way in the bottom of this. Now, pretty creative, I'll give it to them. But we have to fix it. I'm gonna show you, we're gonna do this in one day, how I fix it. There might be another way, there might be a better way in your opinion. I don't give a fuck. All right, this is how I do it. So what we've gone is we've gone and purchased a complete cowl panel and a complete lower plenum from Rare Spares. So when you're buying one of these and you're thinking about fixing it up, try and factor that into your price off the bat, all right? Round figures, let's say 1,400 bucks, okay? Add $1,400 for those panels that you're going to have to buy. Non-negotiable, all right? So let's have a look what we get. All right, look at that. That there is our lower section, our lower plenum. So complete panel. And these fit really nicely, by the way. And especially these top cowl sections, I'll let you know that the corners that always go are actually sharper and closer to the originals than those little sections. So when you buy just the section to here, they're not as sharp, they're not as nice around here. But these panels are really nice. All right, so how this is gonna go in the car, that's how that's gonna go in the car. So that gives you an idea. You've got the lower, the topper, boom, chucks in the car. So let's get into it. I'm gonna show you how to put this into this. Okay, so I was just explaining to Brad, but we got a firewall, we've got a flange under here. Where's my finger? It goes up, around and up, okay? Now this top panel here sits on top of the flange. We're gonna imagine the flange is where this, or the firewall is where this line is. So we've got to be careful of that. But what we're gonna do is, first thing, we're gonna just run the grinder with a cutting disc around the plenum, and we're gonna remove the majority of it, okay? Get that out the way, and we're gonna use the grinding disc to grind back these panels here to get to our flange we're gonna spot weld to, all right? Now, this is actually quite an easy job, but high commitment, if that makes sense. Easy skill level, commitment, high, because you're gonna get to a point where you're like, fuck, have I fucked my car up? Don't stress, all right? Let's get it.
I'm so in love with you. You got me down again.
Fucking look at that creativity there. That is beautiful. They did a solid effort. Solid effort. But beautiful. Real quick, before I forget, we're going to go over a few little things once you get the top section off. All right, there is a few crucial little things that are going to make your life difficult if you miss them. And we're going to go over some shit. So, obviously cut the top off, rough as guts, and that's how we like it. These are the areas that fuck up, right? So, just hold on for a minute. In the corners here, because it's no drainage, they sort of rust through, then this inner underneath gets fucked up, and all kinds of dramas happen here. So this one's actually not that bad, but once we clear that up, there's going to be an issue there. This side here, this is a good example of what happens. So the corners get eaten away in here. Right, can you just grab me that lower panel, the lower plenum? Just bring it over here for a sec. And as you can see, because there's such tight panels, they rust in the corners here, right? And if you look underneath, under the dash, you can't really see this, but they rust away on the inside, right? But as you can see on the original, here's this lip here. This same lip is here, okay? So you can sort of see we get this piece with the plenum. So what I'm doing is I'm coming along here, I'm cutting the bottom. I'm gonna cut along here, but I'm not gonna go through to the firewall because that's gonna cause me dramas. But I'm gonna have to go and take these fucking pot rivets out because that's really made our life difficult. But what I will show you, oops, right here, there's 2 spot welds, right? 2 spot welds here. And I believe, yep, here, we've got a few spot welds here. 2 spot welds here. So there's some spot welds along the top of the firewall that actually hold this panel together here and in the center. All right, so just beware of those because if you're trying to pull it out, it's not coming out, boom, you got issues, okay? Now, they don't usually have fucking pot riveted plate through these, okay? A lot easier. But I will say, there is another 8 spot welds through here, right? So right next to this thing, 8 spot welds through here. And what that connects to, right, is the top here of where your column mounts, okay? So easy way to do it is cut along the sides. So cut this strip out, remove the rest of the plenum, and then grind off the spot welds. Sort of like what Brad's doing here. As you can see, this flange would just grind on the spot welds off, and then we'll get a screwdriver underneath, pop it off, right? Because the new panel goes all the way over the top and ties into the dash, okay? Now bear with me, this is still looking like a mess, but let's pull it together. All right, so quick update on this. We've removed most of the old plenum, cleaned up this flange along here, cleaned up the inside flange, that's all happening. We've got these sections here, they always rust out just along here. We've also welded up, Brad's welded up all those rivets where they've drilled them all out. This is what we're after. So I've replaced this lip along the outside, replaced this corner in here. Now I do it in a way so it looks super neat underneath. While it's here, linish it up. Now, some of these shapes can be a little bit difficult to make. You might look at them and get a bit confused and whatnot. Let me simplify it for you real quick. Every one of your rare spares panels that you buy, keep all the offcuts, keep all the bends. So this piece here is a door inner from Rares, and boom, obviously we've got heaps of usages out of it. We'll cut it to size. Sometimes you have to manipulate them and whatnot, use a persuader or whatever the fuck you want to do. But there's heaps of panels, like you got to keep all your little cuts, utilize everything, you know what I mean? Especially if you don't have all the whiz-bang equipment, which we don't, right? Utilize what you can, and you'll be surprised what you can use. All right, you just got to be creative. Meanwhile, Brad's over here. He's laid some copper weld through primer, and now we're just drilling out the panel here so we can put all our spot welds. So obviously we've got a nice flat flange over there. We've got holes drilled in this panel. The reason I don't drill the initial panel out is because now we've got a nice flat surface to weld to. Also, keep in mind, we still got to grind this piece of shit off there. All right, let's get into it. All right, so this is how it looks when you've got all your plenum cut out, all linished back. This is what you're aiming for. So we've got our corners both repaired. We've got this ledge cleaned up. We've got all our lip all the way around cleaned up. We've got our steering column mount there cleaned up. That's what it looks like. So this is a hard task to get it to this. I know in the video it's going to be like 30 seconds, but it's taken me and Brad all day to be chipping away and get this all ready. So now we're going to weld through prime all these sections right before we put any panels on. But once you get here, trust me, it's so much easier. Now you might think this is super weak or something, but really, it's not. It's not. This has a bit of flex in it, but when you put your plenum top cover on there, it sort of locates it where it needs to be. Now, those corners, you don't want them too far out. You'd rather have them a little bit inner when you put new lips on it. But that's all. We're ready to keep moving forward. Brad's drilled all the spot welds out. We are ready to go. So what's happening behind me is we've got our plenum in, as you've seen, sat in nicely. And Brad is now plugging up the welds. So as you can see, a few holes there drilled all the way around, weld through prime either side. And he's now welding in between the vice grips, moving the vice grips across and completing the welds. We'll then linish those off, more weld through primer, and we'll sit the top section on. All right, so we've got the top cowl panel all tacked in position. All I like to do, either side, to double check, is you measure from the center of this hole to the outside of here, both sides, just to get a good idea that it's centered. And also there's location holes in here. So when you're lining the panel up, you can match it up with these holes. As you can see, what we've done is we've got screws. We've got screws holding it down around the place, and also using clamps to make sure we've got a flat surface. This hole here has been attacked, but measurement's the same. And the screws hold the panel in. And Brad's gone along now, plug welding with the MIG all these holes. And that's pretty much the easiest, and that's pretty much how you finish off the cowl panel. So nothing really dramatic, nothing crazy. We've got to remember we got the spot welds here as well. But yeah, after you get through the daunting stage, it gets super simple. So we'll leave Brad with that for now. I've got a few other things to go on with. We'll check back in when it's all finished and have a look at how good it looks. All right, guys, so as you've seen, Brad was welding the cowl panel on the top. It's all finished now, all finished off. So we've got a weld going down here. All the spot welds that we had before, all done and finished. Now, obviously, as we're clamping and going along with the welder, it's important just to knock these flanges flat, because you don't want any like fucking waves going on with the panels. You want them nice, seamed together real closely. Obviously, all those pot rivet holes are welded up. You can't forget your spot welds here, right? Add another 2 spot welds here, another 2 here. That's all nice. And what you're left with is a brand spanker plenum. So you can't really complain with that. Again, weld here, welds along the inside, and underneath, brand new. No mucking around, all weld through primed. That's gonna last another 50 years plus, no worries. By the time we use the Epitech on it, all the products, no worries. And as you've seen, like I said, high commitment, but actually not a super hard repair to do. It is daunting to do, but go back, reference the videos. Flick me through some messages on Instagram. I might reply, and if I don't, it's just because I'm going through something or I'm mentally fucked. But I might reply. We'll see how we go. Anyway, that's done. We're off to blasting. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the views. We're trying to upload some more, all right? I'm getting back into it. A lot of things are going on, but I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, Brad, good job. Jed, you're here.